I guess that's Ron Shank over on our inspo side that was responsible for shopping my head on Joe Biden's body. Let's see if we can get that. For those of you that are either streaming or watching this thing on the internet, you're looking at it right now. There am I. So Joe Biden had to go off, I don't know, and make a gaffe somewhere. So he let me have his seat at the table. There I am in the Situation Room helping the national security team process this bin Laden raid. President Obama having to look around my oversized head in order to see the image on the screen, but he's concentrating looking at the same image that I am. And that is spooky. I don't know where Ron got that picture. I mean, my eyes are looking in the right direction. My head is turned at the right angle, and it's sitting there on Joe Biden's body. So there it is, and we're going to tweet that out, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get that. We got it on the Facebook page, so you got Facebook, go to Focal Point. You got to look at it. This is living proof. We're going to tweet this out, by the way. We're going to tweet it out. This is a new photo release. We're going to tweet it out as absolute living proof that the Obama photo was not Photoshopped. Here it is. This is the real national security team on point when this whole thing was going down.
I'll tell you, it's scary how easy that is to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I don't know where in the world Ron got that picture, because it's like with Obama, you got to hunt around to find a picture of the guy with his head tilted at the right angle, with his eyes looking in general in the right direction. So that's just crazy. Anyway, we'll open up the phone lines, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. I just want to go through a little bit of this piece from American Thinker from May of 2012. Debbie said, by the way, my wife Debbie looked at the picture, this new photo release from the official White House photographer, and she told me that I looked appropriately somber. That was her word, that obviously I recognize the seriousness of this circumstance. I realize what's at stake. I'm focused. I have an appropriately somber expression on my face. So even that, I don't know where Ron got that picture, but that is just absolutely hilarious. But anyway, this piece in American Thinker has a couple of paragraphs looking about he focuses on the eyes of everyone in the room. He's got a large and overexposed, sharpened image of the Situation Room, which shows where the cameras are, where the screens are. It says here is a sharpened image that offers a clear glimpse into the various pairs of eyes. Follow the direction of the center of focus for all the surrounding faces in the room. When zoomed in closely, the eyes are clear and detailed for many of these faces. However, not only do Obama's eyes lack detail in this overexposed photo, but the direction of his glance appears to be pinpointing a higher plane than that of everyone else in the room. You know, it's like when they do those forensic things, those crime scenes where they're tracking the track of the bullet, and they'll have a pin, and then they'll have a string that runs like to the wall or the point of entry into the room or whatever. It's kind of like that, what he's saying. If you were to take those imaginary strings and take them from their eyeballs to where their eyesight is gazing, you'd find that the angle for Obama's gaze is completely different than the angle of everybody in the room. It's aimed at a higher place. Then he says, there is a problem with the consistency in lighting and softness to the skin tones for the majority of the faces in the room, except for Obama and two players standing behind Bill Daley. So they've got kind of some skin tone problems. Not the same. So you look at the skin tone and a lot with Obama and these other two people, and it doesn't match everybody else in the room. You look at the way the light falls on their faces. You see that it's different. The light falling on the face of the guy behind Daley appears to be different than the angle at which it is falling on Bill Daley, who's standing right in front of him. So anyway, it's an interesting little piece. It's on American Thinker, May of 2012. I'm not sure who wrote this piece. Let's see if I can get a name of the guy that wrote this. Mara Zebest. She is a graphic artist, and she is the co-author of a number of Adobe product books. Listen to this. This is the woman that did this. You had somebody send out a tweet saying, hey, I do this for a living, kind of like Chris Matthews. There's no way this thing is Photoshopped. I examine this stuff for a living. Well, here is Mara Zebes. She's the one that's pointing out all of the anomalies in this photo. I didn't even notice until just now. I'm discovering this right along with you because I just found the content interesting. Now I'm finding out who wrote this piece, American thinker, Mara Zebes, a graphic artist and co-author for a number of Adobe product books, including, catch this, including the Inside Photoshop series, 1,000 pages long, been published in at least 10 different languages around the world. She is also tech editor for numerous books, both for Adobe and Microsoft products. She has worked closely with the cold case posse for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office in providing evidence on Obama's birth certificate, which I don't know much about that other than that I know that the one that's on the White House website is bogus. It's hinky. Now, let's get back one more effort on the mainstream media to cover for Obama and Reggie Love here. So we just heard CBS. He just has to clear his head. Charlie Rose saying that's fine. He got to go off and play cards because he just can't handle the pressure. He can't handle the stress. He's got to clear his head. I'm fine with that. Let him go off and play cards. He can't handle the stress. He can't handle the pressure. I understand it. Hillary obviously can't handle it. She's got her hand over mouth. Whatever he needs to do to clear his head is fine with me. Now, here is NBC. That was CBS. Now, here's NBC doing their best to cover for Obama and Reggie Love.
Most people were like down in the Situation Room, but he was like, I'm not going to be down here. I can't watch this entire thing. So he, myself, Pete Souza, the White House photographer, Marvin, we must have played 15 games of spades.
Okay, the White House is declining to comment on this. We should note, from what we understand, the president was in the Situation Room during all of the actual raid, and we wonder how they feel about Mr. Love writing about this.
Say, bring, Reggie, it's the White House, line 2.
Non-disclosure.
Not going to be on the basketball court for a while.
Yeah, don't mention the spades game that went on. Anyway, interesting nonetheless.
Oh, man. So Matt Lauer said, look, the White House won't comment. And they're saying, hey, he was in the Situation Room the whole time. Well, we know he wasn't. He was downstairs playing cards with Reggie Love and the White House photographer. So you got a White House photographer around who knows how to use Photoshop. All those guys do. So anyway, looking hinkier by the minute. So that's fascinating. You know, Glenn Beck has some other observations, saying the same thing basically that I said. The entire Situation Room is designed for the President of the United States. The room is built with him at the head of the table. This is quoting Beck. All of the monitors sit in front of him. Everybody else has to turn their body and look. All the clocks, all the intel, everything's on that wall facing him. It's all built for him in that power situation. Now, he says, who is sitting at the head of that table? The general is. Not President Obama. It's the general sitting at the head of that table. Now, I will flat out guarantee you that let's say President Obama has to leave the room for whatever. He's got to go feed Bo. So he leaves the room, and maybe the general slips into the catbird seat to take command temporarily. Well, I will flat out guarantee you, President comes back in the room, the general is going to vacate the bridge. He's going to make room on the bridge for the commander-in-chief. He's going to slide into the seat in the corner of the table so that the commander-in-chief can resume his proper place at the head of the table. And so it almost looks like they pulled up a chair for President Obama at the corner of that table. That's the way it looked. Doesn't have a computer in front of him. They just pulled up a chair so he could be seated in the corner. Everything is wrong about this. Everything is wrong about this photograph. So anyway, more to come on that. But it just cracked me up. I mean, the first 5 pages on Google were all about my comments yesterday, and of course my comments today are certainly not going to help with any of that. 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. It's open line or free for all Friday, so we'll talk about anything that you want to talk about that's been in the news in the past week. We've talked about the violence in Egypt, Muslim Brotherhood being behind all of that. We've got testimony now from pathologists at the trial of Major Hassan at Fort Hood, that a number of the victims, at least 6 of them, he shot them while they were lying on the ground. He shot them, ladies and gentlemen, in the name of Allah, in the name of Muhammad, in the name of Islam. He shot them while they were lying on the ground. The one soldier that charged him had 12 wounds. He shot that soldier 12 times, Frederick Green. Now, you ask yourself the question, why did this Frederick Green have to charge this guy and get 12 bullet wounds? Because he didn't have a gun on him. Why did he not have a gun on him? Because of President Bill Clinton. It was Bill Clinton, 1993, said we got to make our military bases gun-free zones. So that's why these people were unarmed, completely incapable of defending themselves, because of President Bill Clinton turning our Air Force, our Army bases, all our military bases into gun-free zones. Well, let's grab a call before the break. Let's go to Hector in Florence, South Carolina. If we can bring in Hector. Hector in Florence, how are you? Welcome, and what's on your mind?
Good day to you, Brian. Good to talk to you again.
You bet.
Listen, real quick comment. The reason I believe the president wasn't able to handle it, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons, help you have an understanding on it. I believe that he wasn't able to handle it because I believe overall, him and Hillary and others, they knew it was going to happen, but it happened sooner than they believed it was going to happen, and they got caught by surprise. I don't really think they cared about our 4 Americans that were over there, but I think what they were surprised about and what they were going to be surprised about is how they're going to deal with it after it happened.
Now you realize now the incident we're talking about with the photo, that had to do with the killing of bin Laden. That's what
the bin Laden deal.
Yeah, it wasn't the Benghazi deal, because we still have no idea where Obama was that night. Everybody else in the Situation Room, he checked out. We have no idea still to this day where he was. But I think and Hector, to follow up on what you were saying, there's pretty good evidence that Valerie Jarrett was actually the one that pulled the trigger on the bin Laden raid, that Obama could not even bring himself to give the green light. So Valerie Jarrett made the call where Obama was off somewhere else. She said, look, we've got to take this guy out. If we've got the chance to do it and we don't do it, it's going to make Obama look bad. My job is to make him look good. You take that guy out. That President Obama could not even pull the trigger on Osama bin Laden. I mean, figuratively give the go order to the Navy SEALs. Valerie Jarrett had to do it for him. That's one of the reasons why I think he was out of the room. If it went south, he didn't want to be anywhere near it. Focal Point AFR Talk, back in 2.